Hello everyone. Okay, we are on Think Ink Thursday. So Lisa McConnell here. I am a designer with Couture and we're doing Thursday's video, and I'm gonna use something that makes me a little nervous. After Tuesday, here I go doing something that I'm uncomfortable with. But one of the things that I love about Couture is that we have pastes to be able to use for chalkboards and wood products and various surfaces. And then we also have a permanent medium ink, which is used for fabrics or glassware that you want to be permanent. Basically, paste is semi-permanent and ink is permanent. So that's what we're going to do this evening, is I'm gonna do a project with ink. So let's switch to the overhead camera, and we have a kitchen towel. So I am going to stick with my theme that I had last night, and I'm going to use the lemon transfer, and we're going to put a lemon on our kitchen towel. So really cool thing. I think honestly one of the things that drew me to Couture was that it is something that you can pick up any surface, not just one of ours, and we can use the products to create home decor. So I got this, I'd say I got this for $4.99, but I didn't because it was on sale at Hobby Lobby. And so I can take just a cute kitchen towel and turn it into a really cute kitchen towel. How are you guys doing on this Thursday? Let's see if I can pull up, let me see if I can pull up this video just so that I can see comments. So we're gonna keep going on the same theme as I said before, and we're going to create this lemon. So we had Bumblebee in a paste and we have Bumblebee in an ink. So we've got a coordinating color. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the page. I'm a little slow getting to the page, so bear with me just 1 second. And taking a drink because I had a cough or a twitch. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go, just so that I can see if anybody has any questions. All right, so we are going to use the same transfer with ink. Now then, I've got my ruler because I do want to make sure that this is relatively centered. I know last night I said that that I eyeballed things, and most of the time I do. However, for a towel like this, I'm not going to eyeball it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold the towel in half to find the midway point, and then in the sewing stores you can find this disappearing ink. And this is great for marking the centers of fabrics. So I'm just going to mark that with the blue, and then when I use water, this mark will come undone. So just making sure that you can see that little mark that I created. Okay, so that lets me know that I'm at the halfway point of my towel. And now kind of the opposite is true with fabric, as when you're working with wood surfaces or chalkboards. You do not want to fuzz your transfer because you need to make sure that your transfer is on solid on your fabric. The ink is a thinner consistency, so it could spread a little bit. which is honestly the reason why I'm always terrified of inks. And it's so funny because I'll watch other videos from other consultants or designers with Couture, and I'm always in awe of what they do with ink. They just make it look so easy. I, on the other hand, am not going to make it look easy, and I'm going to be, quite honestly, a little bit paranoid here and hope for the best, because when you're working with ink, the one thing that I'll tell you is there is not a whole lot you can do to fix ink. So we need to hope for the best. Okay, this is almost 5.5 inches. So I know then 2 3/4 is my center point. So right in the middle of that E, which actually, eyeballing it, I lined it up pretty daggone perfectly. So that's a good thing. All right, now then, so we want to make sure that this is on good and solid. Okay, and I do mean good and solid. So one of the things that I do, so I'm feeling something underneath there. I can feel the edge. Oh, that's actually this little piece that was underneath. So I don't want anything that would cause ridges. I'm going to get a couple squeegees. And the other thing that I have seen people do, which I've not done before, is that they tape around the edge. So I'm actually going to do that. But one of the things that I'm doing here is I am just scraping my transfer to make sure that I have all the air bubbles out. So I'm just kind of running this along the edge just to make sure there are no air bubbles. Okay. And I'm doing this a whole lot because I just want to do everything I can to make sure that this doesn't spread. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this placement tape because this is what I have. Normally I'd use like the painter's tape or masking tape or something like that. So what I'm doing though here is I'm just putting this along the surface just to give it a little bit more added strength to make sure that the transfer doesn't move at all. Doing everything I can to make sure this comes out. You guys have no idea how nervous I am about this one. Literally, I've only worked with ink like maybe 6 times in 8 months. I'm just intimidated by it. But you know what? We're just going to step out of the comfort zone and hope for the best, right? And if it comes out horrible, well, then it comes out horrible and it'll be par for my day. And it is a towel that was 5 times 6, $3. So I'm only messing up $3. So you know what? I can live with that. So, but we're going to hope for the best, right, guys? Okay, let's get our ink stirred up. And the one other thing that I can tell you about ink is that you only want to use a little bit of ink. Okay, it doesn't take a whole lot of ink, and it is definitely a thinner consistency than the paste. All right, so I'm going to slide up a little bit more just so that you guys can see this. Okay, here we go. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope I don't get it on my fingers. Okay, so we're just going to use a little bit of ink and then we'll pick up with more as we go. Now, one of the cool things about ink is you don't have to work quickly. It can dry. So that's perfectly fine. The other thing is I can add more as I go, and I'm trying not to pull on the transfer. You don't want to stretch the transfer out. Okay? So it is a little bit more time consuming. Maybe it doesn't have to be this time consuming. Maybe it's me. I give you that. Maybe it's me. But I'd rather take my time and do everything I can to make sure that it comes out to be good. So just doing my best here. And we'll see what happens. So if you've used ink, let me know that. Let me know. And oh, it's saying it was, the video was interrupted. All right, let's see. Let's see what's happening here. And see if we can get it back. I'm going to keep going in case it's not interrupted on your end. Let's see. Oh yeah. So, okay. We're going to keep going. I don't know if we're still there or not. It is still recording on my app. So, if for some reason it was interrupted on Facebook, I will load it later. I can't really tell. I'm learning, guys. Just learning. Okay, so as I said before, we don't want to stretch out the transfer. We just want to try and keep the mesh from pulling. And so we're getting there. We're almost there. And moment of truth. I know a lot of people who work with ink. They work a lot quicker than I do, and maybe I'll get some speed as I get more practice, but for right now, slow and steady wins the race, right? So what I was saying before the video was interrupted is if you've used ink, even if you're not watching this live, let me know. Let me know if you have, if you've used ink and if you've had success with it. All right, I'm switching to see if we can go back to the camera. Okay, there we go. My husband has been setting up a new router, a better router, because I'm in the basement. So to see if we can get better signal down here. But I haven't had problems up until tonight. I don't think I had problems this week. I don't know. If you guys are seeing this, let me know. I keep getting messages on Facebook that the video was interrupted. So I don't know. But worst case scenario, I will post the picture at the end so you can see, so even if you're not seeing the process. And if you are seeing the process, you're just seeing the same thing over and over, me scraping along here. All right, we are just about done here. Moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen, to see how this worked. Okay. All right, I'm going to pull. Yay to be done. Now for small favors. Let's make sure I don't have any ink on my hands. And then we're going to pull this transfer and hope for the best. You know, I did one of these towels. That was one of the 5 or 6 things I've done. And it came out perfectly. I used the bees. the honey transfers, and it was perfect. It was so easy, but I'm still always nervous because like this one's a bolder image. There's just so many variables. So we'll see how it goes. Can I peek? Oh, this is looking good so far. Guys, I think that looks pretty good. Oh, you've got a glare, a little bit of a glare. Let me hold it up so you don't see the glare. We have to be careful because it's not exactly dry. So once it dries, it'll get a little bit better, but you can see that looks pretty good. So it is still wet on that side. So I'm going to, and I see that, gosh, maybe I should have used one of the ink mats. Let me wipe that. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Bear with me. I forgot the step. We have ink mats that you can put the transfer, you can put your fabric on to keep it from moving. So we're just gonna lay this down for a second though. Okay. So now here's what we're going to do. Just to be on the safe side, we're going to put this down and then we're going to take our dryer to it. So that way I get it dry so I can show you guys. Now then, hopefully you can hear me. The one thing that I'll tell you is that you want to heat set your ink if you want it to be permanent. So for example, if you want to be able to wash this dish towel, you would heat set it. You can do that with an iron, or if you happen to have a heat press, I know a lot of people have the Cricut heat presses. You can use that, and you can heat press it that way. So what I'm doing is not heat pressing it, and I probably could if I did this long enough, but I'm just trying to dry the ink so that I can show you guys the finished product. So that's all I'm doing here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold over our lemon towel, and bear with me and I'll show you the final product. Okay, let's see guys, if you can see. So now we have our vase, we have our towel, we have our block, and we have our sign in the very back. So now we are complete. So I'm hoping that you saw the video and that it wasn't interrupted too much. And this whole display will be over at the Chancellor Ruritan Club building tomorrow. So I hope you can join us from 1 to 9:30. You can come anytime, and we'll have several projects on display for you guys to see. But let me know if you've used ink, and if you have, if you've had success with it, or if it intimidates you like it intimidates me. So, but I think we did okay. So that's project number 6 or 7. So we're getting there. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. Have a good night.